What is up, guys? My name is Efrain Lozada. I'm your host of Know Your Worth TV. And first of all, let's go ahead and say thank you to the Content Creators Experience for allowing me to actually collab with them on this dope opportunity they have here for women all month long, even following into the next month, because they're that special that we celebrate women in the small business world. I mean, let's not even say small business, because these small business women are going to make this very big businesses. However, we do want to highlight them. All right. We have all types of backgrounds from makeup artists to photographers to hairstylists. And today I have a special person here at It's Lily Lovely. She is a makeup artist as well as a creative director. So she'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about what she does, who she is, and why we celebrate her today. So it's Lily Lovely. What do we want to be called the rest of the show? Lily?
Lily is cool.
Lily. All right, cool. So Lily, who give the audience a little bit about you. What is your background? What got you into what it is that you do?
Whew, that's a lot. I don't want to. Okay, so I'm Lily. I am a makeup artist. I work and I'm also a creative director for Fly Fair Nation. Makeup artist world, because it's two separate worlds for me. Mind you, they work together. But makeup artist world, of course, I just celebrate women. I celebrate men and women. And it's all about, getting them ready. If it's for a video shoot, a photo shoot, a special event, you know, it's basically like what I do. The first thing that I would love to say, as far as like, I didn't get into the makeup business thinking that it was going to be a business. I love makeup and I would used to do it for fun. And for, I don't know how, I guess finding it as a passion, it ended up helping me make a career out of it. So I started it with it being a fun thing to do, a pastime, something to take my mind off of it. And I put so much focus into it that I actually was able to create my whole career out of it. So that's for the makeup world. Creative directing world, I followed it through with the makeup. I started working on video production sets. I'm not a big name dropper, but I have worked on a lot of video sets that you guys have probably seen. The latest one that I worked on was Beautiful with SZA, Future, and DJ Khaled. I did the makeup for the models for that, and I did last looks on DJ Khaled. So that's the most recent. But the list goes on from Busta Rhymes to Sensia, from Mary J. Blige music video. It goes in. I'm not a big name dropper, but everyone
No,
tells
it's
me
okay. Drop them names. It's okay. Listen, you
I
did the
don't like
work. Drop them
doing that, but
names.
it's okay. I got a pretty good little resume. Ooh, something, you know. But from working on those type of sets, that's how I was like, okay, when I do these in-house productions with Flyer Fair Nation, I would pick up what I got from those type of sets and be like, this is all they need to do. And that's how my creative directing grew from makeup to now what I do with Flyer Fair Nation.
Perfect. So they just kind of went hand in hand at this point,
Like a puzzle.
right?
I always
It
say
fit
that.
like a glove.
Yep.
It fit like a glove. No, that's pretty dope. So how many years would you say you've actually been doing makeup?
Professionally, 'cause that's really important. That's after my license. Professionally, I've been doing makeup for about 5 years because my son is 6. My son is 6, so 5 years.
Perfect. This is something that you started like what in high school, like just doing your own before you became professional. You were just kind of practicing on yourself, on friends. What did that kind of look like for you?
So I used to waitress, and I started my waitressing job. We always had to, come a little bit,
Hmm.
presentable because we would
Glammed
take
up. Uh-huh.
exactly. And the girls would always like how I would do my makeup, and they would tell me like, "Oh my God, Lily, can you like do me?" And I'm like, "All right, cool." That's how I found that I just liked doing it for fun, for free. I didn't mind. But then afterwards, after I had my child, my firstborn, I didn't like working as a waitress anymore. And it wasn't something that I could, you know. it did not make sense anymore. It wasn't enough money for just me
Yeah.
and my child. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna, follow beauty school. I'm gonna go into beauty school, get my license, and try to see if I could make something out of it. And that's how I did it. I went to beauty school. Then there, I was able to work on it, learn about it, and it just made me fall more and more and more in love with makeup, with cosmetology in total. Just the fact that it's something so easy. Like my hands can do this. Someone is a bride. You could have a crazy day, but once you sit in my chair, this is a you time, and we're gonna glam you up for the best day of your life. And when I noticed that I could have that power, that's definitely something that made me kind of just fall more in love with it and just keep going.
So you said that you left the, I would say, the 9 to 5 world, the corporate world.
Yes.
You decided I'm gonna go ahead and take a leap of faith.
Huge risk. A
Right?
huge
It's a huge risk, and I've also been able to do that myself. But for you as a mom, what was going through your mind at that time?
a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I also come from like a Caribbean culture, so leaving a 9 to 5 job to follow your dreams
Yeah,
sounds ridiculous.
absolutely. Especially when you tell your parents, right?
Yes. So I really felt like everything was against me when I decided. And mind you, I have a little one, so they're like, "Are you crazy? Like, what are you talking about? How are you gonna leave this job that money comes in? And I'm just like, because I believe in myself. I believe that I can make something out of this. I wouldn't, take the risk. I'm just like I felt like it was an educated risk.
Yeah.
And also it had to depend on me. So I literally gave myself the you do it or you do it. Like there was no or else. There was no I wouldn't say there was no plan B, but I really had to do like how the horses with the focus thing, like they keep I really had to say this is what I'm gonna do and I'm gonna do it. And that was really hard. I'm not gonna lie. That was
So,
really
how much negative feedback, energy were you receiving during those years of getting there? Because it took some time, right? It not only did you have to go to school, you had to build clientele, you had to kind of
mm-hmm.
get into that space, learn, right? There were so
Yeah,
many different things to learn in the business world as well. People don't realize that when you do take that risk, there's a lot. There's a lot of
yeah.
failures. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's not always straight success. You have to really kind of go through it. So what I've experienced and maybe you've experienced, and I want you to kind of elaborate on it. How much from your family, from your friends, how much negativity were you receiving during that time? And how hard was it to kind of, like you said, stay laser focused?
So I'll put it like this. When I told my mom that, because my mom was she's a really big impact on it. But I also know that people got that tough love. I think Caribbean parents have that tough love. Mommy's busy. I knew it. Okay, mommy's working right now. Bye bye. So yes, so when
the
I
work
had
never stops, right? The work
no,
never stops. I'm a full-time mom all day, every day, and I gotta run the business. Continue, continue.
that's a whole other topic. But I went to my mom and I told her the idea that I was going to start the makeup business. Not start the makeup, I was just going to go to school, right?
Mhm.
And it was so not what she wanted to hear, to the point that she was bribing me to go to real estate school. She's like, I will pay for you to go through real estate school. Don't go to beauty school. And I'm like, I don't want to do real estate, mom. Like, that's not where I see myself at. And it was such a huge, big thing that I literally had to leave the house. I had to leave the house. Like it was one of those like pressure was on me. And then I think that was the most negative. So I didn't care if friends didn't like it. I didn't care if my mother wasn't accepting it. And this is a person who raised me.
Yeah.
So then that was the most biggest, that was the most negative as far as that. Mind you, I did not know what was going to happen beforehand. I didn't know that who I am today, that was going to, I just wanted to do something for myself at that point in time. And I'm looking at my son, and that was another thing that helped me. So against all the negativity, the only thing, I would look at my son's face and I was like, you know what, when my son grows up, I want him to be able to do whatever he wants to do, and I can't set that example to him unless I do it. So that's what
Mm,
kept me going. That's what
sweet,
kept me saying, you know
sweet.
what? If my son wants to be an astronaut, I'm gonna get you space books. I'm gonna get you this. I'm gonna take you to, you know. And I didn't get that from my parents. So I was like, no, 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 no. I'm gonna switch this up. I'm
Hmm.
gonna change it. I'm gonna do what I have to do, and just like I said, that little round, that moment with my mother, when I ended up completing school and I ended up doing everything, I didn't do it for nobody else but me. So no one else's comment, no one else's negative idea, no one, like, it did not matter. It did not matter. I was like, this is for me, this is my future, and I control what I do from here on. And from that moment, here I'm. Hi. I'm happy I did what I did. I'm happy I took the risk. It was a very, it was definitely life
Now,
changing. Not gonna lie.
you hit some strong points, and I hope that people actually took that. And it's that you did something that wasn't done for you. The reason that you continue to, chase that dream was because you want your son. Was it son? You said it correct, right?
I have two. I have now. I have two. At that moment, it was one. Now I have two.
Two boys. It's two
Yes.
boys. All right,
Two.
but you wanted them to know that hey, anything is possible when you really have faith within yourself. When you don't give up on yourself, and
Mhm.
whatever it is that you want to do, no matter what anybody says, you go chase those dreams, and you set an example. And I think it's pretty amazing because that's kind of where I, as a parent, I just became a dad, and there were so many things that I was kind of dealing with at an early age, and not realizing until now that I'm a parent, like, well, this wasn't right, and I have to make a change. I have to make a difference.
Yep.
So you did. You sat here, you said, listen, mom, I love you so much. Right now I gotta love you from a distance. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a risk. I believe in myself. I'm gonna take this leap of faith. And you did it. So how did it make you feel now, knowing that 5 years ago you had no idea what was truly going to happen, but you're in a place where you dropped some names, and that's huge. And I'm pretty sure your mom is super excited at this
Oh,
point,
my mom
right?
promotes me like crazy now. My mom would be like, my daughter, she works in this and she works in the TV and this and that, and I'm just like,
You still want me to go to real estate?
mm. She's yeah. It's still, there's still a little bit of a. I think it's more of a thing with, I don't know if it's, I don't want to generalize it and say Caribbean moms, but it's a certain generation of parents that they thought that the American dream was the 9 to 5 job at that point, you know.
Absolutely.
So I'm breaking barriers within my family, you know. So it's hard to tell my mom, I know you did not believe in me when I said this the first time, but this is what I saw. Actually, the more is happening from what I saw. I thought I was gonna work like a little salon and
Yeah.
just do makeup. I didn't think I was gonna go to this point, but when you really put your all into it, it's anything's possible. Like, anything's possible.
Yeah.
So now telling her, it's one of those, like, she says I'm lucky. They're never gonna admit it. They're not gonna admit that they're wrong. But it was like, oh, you could get lucky. I was like, that's not luck, bro.
So that's
That was,
actually good, right? I hate when people say you're lucky, but they don't know the many times you had to cry yourself to sleep, or the times that you have no money. Or so
mm-hmm.
when someone says lucky, where does your mind go?
It's not luck. It's not luck. It's the fact that I believed in it. I think it's people are taken away from their actual power, you know. And it's just like, when you really put your mind to something, you can make it happen, you know.
Absolutely.
And I was going against the generation of like the generation of my mom. Like, I was going against someone that was told what to do, was told this is what you have to do. So then that's how they raised me. This is what you have to do. And I'm like, no, I can do what I want to do.
Hmm.
You know, and that's the barrier that I wanted to break. So being able to just say, like, hey, like, you are in complete control. You can hear my kids in the background. They're going crazy.
All good, no worries. Listen, it's life, right? It goes to
Sorry guys,
show
mom.
that listen, your job is never done. I'm doing makeup and taking care of the kids at the same time. So hey, Hats off to you. Hats off to you. We
But
celebrate the woman. I understand how important it is.
yeah, so that's something that I just I don't know. I can't really, to this day I feel like it's not, I wouldn't say it's not real, but to this day it feels like I hate saying like I'm living out a dream, but it's just like it's not a dream, it's reality. So it's like you made it, I made it happen, and I'm still making things happen. Like there's still gonna be more. Like still going
The
forward.
way I look at it, Lily, and tell me, correct me if I'm wrong here, but when people say lucky, I always say no, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, and I got blessed because I took risk. I never gave up. I had faith in myself, and when you have faith in yourself and you continue to move in your purpose, like you said, you thought the plan was one thing, so you moved into that direction, and while it was still that, you got blessed times 10, and
Mm-hmm.
now it became even bigger. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when people say lucky, I hate the word lucky because I don't believe it's
I
a
mean,
luck
me
thing,
too.
right? I,
Me
I got
too.
prepared, I got prepped. So when the Busta Rhymes or the you said a DJ Khaled's on, those people called me, I was ready for it. I made
Mm-hmm.
sacrifices for that moment,
Yep.
right? So
Definitely
I always hate the word lucky because they don't realize how many years you put into that.
did. Mm-hmm.
You said before even going to school, you were already doing it, not knowing that's where life was going to take you.
Not knowing
You were
that was gonna be a work, it was just fun. It was just something that I would
yeah.
do as a pastime. And another thing with you saying that, lucky versus being blessed, I feel like people need to be accepting of blessings, because I'll remember moments that I couldn't believe in myself. Like I'll get a call and they're like, "Hey, we need a makeup artist for such and such person." And I'm like, nah, this ain't for real. Like you pranking me? Like was like, so it's like you gotta be able to accept the blessing. Put yourself in a position where you definitely have to believe in yourself, because like you wouldn't be able to take the blessing if you weren't ready for it. Even if it sounds like something so untouchable.
Hmm.
So that's definitely not. I don't like the word lucky, because that's basically putting down all the hard work that has been done before. Because lucky, a person calls out a couple of numbers and, hey, you won the lottery. That's
Yeah.
lucky.
Yep. Yep.
There
Absolutely.
was no effort put into it. You just picked your numbers and you ended up picking up your favorite numbers. That's luck. You know.
Absolutely. I agree. And it seems like you've had a lot of success and I love it. And as we celebrate women in success, we also want to talk about what you've had to overcome to be in the predicament that you're on now. Because I'm pretty sure some of the rooms that you've had to walk in, people looked past you, people looked down on you, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about that. I want to talk about those struggles because people always see the glitz and the glamours and they see everything we see on IG and they're happy and all this other stuff. But let's talk about what those sacrifices look like, what those down times look like, where you had to get yourself together and say, I don't care what anybody got to say. I know my worth, and I'm going to go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and do what I do, what makes me happy, no matter what it is that you got to say about me. So let's talk about those type of moments, Lily.
So those type of, I always say that I definitely feel close to the underdog story. I think that coming in basically in the production world, everyone's about who you know, what you know, who is this, who am I, and this and that. So I would be put into a room where for me to even get someone's opinion of, oh, she's doing a good job, I felt like I had to do 3 times, 4 times, 5 times my power, just so someone could notice me, because you fresh, you newbie, you just came into the room. You got me? So it was one of those situations where, like, you know what? No, I know what I have. I know what I can do. Mind you, I still don't know what I can do. I'm not. I don't want to say it as like, oh, I'm at the. No, I still don't know. I know that there's way more possibilities as far as like how far I can take stuff. But at that moment, um, it was just like you're going against people that they've been doing this, they've been doing it, they're close to the celebrities, they're ghosts, and I'm just like, I don't.
Sorry, guys. It looks like Lily has been disconnected. Oh, Lily, you back?
I'm back.
All right, cool, cool. You're here. You're here. All right, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. I thought I
Sorry,
almost
I
lost
wish
you.
I could put
Continue,
my phone
continue.
on airplane mode, but I can't because I wouldn't be able
All
to.
good. No worries. Continue, continue.
So, like I was saying, um, I would literally have my makeup, my starting makeup bag, store brand stuff like CVS stuff, like Maybelline and
Yeah.
and little products that and then I would sit next and be next to people that was using like these super expensive products. And I remember I was on a Mamma Mia Lil Wayne music video, which was like one of the first that I was like, oh my god. And there was like other makeup artists there. There was like a group of other makeup artists there, and we were a whole glam squad. We had about 16 people. Um, and when they had their makeup kits, they take everything out, and you'd see all the colors, and then you as a maid, you're like, oh wow, you have everything, and I'm like, my kit was like, and then you really have to think and be like, you know what? I could do the same face that you're about to do with this. I have the talent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need all that. I could do. We're working. We're in the same room, same place, and this is what I'm using.
Love it.
But you got to do this big. So I really had to change kind
The
of the
mindset.
mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be like, no, I got my hands. You put anything in my hands, and I'm gonna make something out of it. And that's something that you can't see the other. Mommy's busy. Okay, mommy's working right now. X over there. Mom? Yes. Yes, go. Sorry, that's no
It's
one.
all good. Listen, it's all good. It's reality. It's life. People have to understand while we're, business owners, at the end of the day, our lives don't stop just because of
Mhm.
that. We're still parents at the end of the day, right? It's a
Yeah,
weekend. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
normally we're with our families. However, we still wanted to highlight you here, not only on Know Your Worth TV, but the content creators experience and this we understanding of it. So it's all good. I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you. I
Uh,
appreciate it.
Mine just
And
happened to
also,
be napping right
knows
now.
me,
So
everyone that knows me knows that I go everywhere with my kids. I do everything with them. So but like I was saying, when it came to that, I had to really like cut out I couldn't see competition from what it was. And it kind of altered me to always work in my kit because I never wanted to take anything out because I didn't feel like it was like worth seeing yet. So I kept it more as a secret thing. So it would be situations like that, my products, and I was growing my kit as I would go. Like the money that would come in, okay, I need to get a ring light because I didn't have one. I need to get this chair. So it was literally growing little by little. Um, as I went. The other moment was speed. I had issues with speed, but it started picking it up, And I'm not gonna lie, in the production world, when you're in that type of situation, you could get switched up easy. You get switched up easy. You could get cut off, and a whole new makeup artist is there, like in the matter of 20 minutes, because it's that. How would you say when something is saturated? It was that saturated, and it would be hard. I would have nights where basically I would get off of a gig at 4 o'clock in the morning because these type of music video productions, they go anywhere from like 12 to 14 hours. So I would be working from 11 a.m., 4 a.m., go home, literally like sleep in my clothes, wake up, wake my son up, get him ready to go to daycare, and then me go to school because I was still working. I was still finishing school in a way. So it would be moments like that. And a lot of times I had to do that. I had to basically be up like 24 hours because we had one set that was it was Gunna, Roddy Rich, and Future.
mhm.
And that set itself was like 14, 17 hours. All in one room, like in one studio.
Yeah.
And
I've
I was
actually
up the whole day because I had my kids in the daytime, so a whole 24 hours. And then when I come back to them, I have to be mom again. So it was
yeah.
like, oh God, can't go to sleep because my kids are up. Like, hi, mommy, and I'm like,
So
what?
I wouldn't know it as much as you know, but I want to share a story because you talk about the music videos and them being shot literally a lot of them overnight because they're using studio spaces and things like that.
Mhm.
Hollywood is in one music video. I'm not even going to drop the name because the person is so irrelevant now. It's back when I was younger. But I was surprised that it was like 12 o'clock, a.m. and we didn't stop filming till like 6, 7. I didn't know this and I had to work the next day. So I literally just drove straight to work the next day, exhausted. So I can imagine
Just on a coffee
what it
bench,
felt like.
hitting
Yeah,
on
what it
the
felt
steering
like,
wheel.
man. And
Yeah,
then having to take care of the kids, that don't stop. Them
it
kids,
doesn't
they don't care
stop.
how tired you are. The energy is always on 100. If they're up, they're up.
They're
So
up.
again, hats off to you. But it seems like there was a lot of times where you had to look at the next person and say, man, am I enough? Am I doing enough? Right
Mhm.
now, you can say, listen, this small palette, that's all I needed because I'm talented. But I can
Mhm.
imagine in that time, looking at those people, you're looking like, why am I even here? Right.
I looked at it like I wasn't ready. I looked at
So
it. If that moment I could was to relive it, I really felt like, damn, Lily, like, nah, this is the big leagues. You ain't here. This is you gonna have to work something out. You're gonna have to pray that this face looks right. And mind you, out of in another situation when I'm not next to other makeup artists, at that time I felt great, but it was just seeing another person that does the same thing you do. Like, if I wasn't doing a good job, they could have just, said, "Hey, Lily, you're cut. You could go home."
yeah,
And that's where I was like, no, 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 no. So I didn't feel that way, like you're saying, right? I didn't feel that way, and I was just like, no, I was able to do what I did with what I had. I couldn't say that. I was literally looking at everyone else's the way that they did it, and I was just like, oh wow, is that the right way to do it? Is that how but I was like, no, you have your own way of doing something. You create your way. And that started growing once I started seeing that, okay, I keep they're calling me back for a reason. I must have
yeah,
did
yeah.
something okay,
I'm doing my thing. Yeah, yeah. How did that opportunity come about? I mean, that first gig that you did, I think you went back and said it was a Little Wayne gig. Was that correct?
No, that was like my first, like, that I was like, whoa, this is
Gotcha.
pretty like movie magic type. My very very
Copy.
first gig, it was my first time even male grooming someone, which is like, makeup and on a dude, beard stuff. I was still in beauty school, and basically someone couldn't the makeup artist couldn't make it, and I had a friend of mine that was like, "Hey, Lily, you think you could? It's makeup on a dude, so it shouldn't be hard." And I'm like, "You're right, it shouldn't be hard." First time, I never did it in my life ever. And I was like, "Okay." When we go and I find out who the art, I thought I was gonna do the makeup for the dancers. I know it was a photo shoot or anything like that. And when we go, um, it was for a reggaeton artist,
Okay.
Faruco, and I was when they told me, no, Lily, you gotta do him, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a first. But like I said, at that moment, I was like, Lily, do what you can, do the best that you can, because this is the moment that's gonna make you or break you. But you got to do something. You can't run away. You can't say no. Like, you're in now. And from that moment on, that's what basically happened. And then I just kept calling, get called. I kept being called. I ended up working with him like 3 to 4 other times after that they liked how I did his male grooming. I was like, oh wow, like it felt good, but I was so scared to get out that car when I found out who it was. I didn't find out until I got there, and I was just like, whoa, scary. It was a
So,
scary
what do you
night.
tell somebody that is trying to get into this industry? What do you tell them? We spoke about doesn't matter about the makeup, right? It doesn't matter if you have the Sephora or whatever these brands. I don't know the makeup names, but I do
No,
know
no,
that
but
one,
they
right?
know. They know. They know.
But what do you tell either man or woman that wants to get into this industry? What kind of advice do you provide?
The industry gets tough. Like you're not doing makeup on friends and family no more. The industry gets tough. What I would say to someone starting out, you can't win a race looking at the next person doing the same thing as you. If you worry about competition, if you worry about how someone else does it, no. You find your way. You do how you want to do it, and what's for you will come, you know? And that's something that I wish I would have heard when I was starting it. Because you want to be like, okay, no, this is how they like it. No, you do how you want to do it. And then your clients will come, you know? And I just feel as like I didn't get into makeup to pay bills. I didn't. I did it because I loved it. So if makeup for them is a passion, then you're going towards something you love to do, then it should definitely. If you come into it saying that, oh, I'll make a lot of money doing makeup, it's going to take a while till you get to the point where you could make some money. It's going to take
What
a long time. You're going to have a lot of doors closed, but you got to have that drive, that purpose of like, no, I'm doing this because I love it. And, you know, I can't see no one else. This is just me. My hands, my work is my work. So
would
that's
you
that's all.
say would you say the saying of chase happiness, not money is true?
Yeah,
Right? Because I mean,
yeah,
it's what made you happy. You said since you were a waiter, right, serving or whatever
yeah,
it was that you were doing, you were just happy just being able to do it, which
yeah.
led you to say, "Hey, I want to go to school for it. I want to kind of get more
I want to
educated
learn.
into the industry." All through
Hmm.
happiness, right? When someone told you, your mom said, "No, do real estate." No, I'm happy doing this. When someone,
Like literally, like all doors closing, all of them. Bum
yeah,
bum 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 bum
right.
bum.
But
Even
it was,
even even with a significant other that I had was on some like, stop dreaming. You ain't gonna be. What do you? Stop wasting your time. And I'm like, and I heard it's coming from someone that you're with. So I was just like, wow, no. So when I say every door, so it's really, yeah, it was something towards you. Do something that makes you happy. Find a way to make money out of something that makes you feel happy. You won't feel like you're working. You won't
mm.
get tired of it. You won't get tired.
Well, what are the next goals now, man? You obviously started makeup, and that's just kind of where it was at, and then you kind of now you're in the place where you're creative director, and you, like you said, it
Mm-hmm,
fits like a glove. What
mm-hmm.
is the goals that you see now for yourself? Obviously, any goals that you set for yourself have, and I always say you got to speak into existence what you
Yeah,
want upon your life.
yeah.
So now that we're here, we're on this platform. We can always go back to this video and say, well, Lily said this is what she was going to do. So,
As
what is the plan, Lily? What is the goals that you have set for yourself? Because we want to speak those into existence.
the goal that I set for myself, and of course set for myself and for Flyer Free Nation, is creating a whole, like basically like a network, just ideas, just build something real. I feel like nowadays when you watch TV or you watch any kind of show, it kind of gives this different type of, it doesn't seem real,
Yeah,
doesn't seem reality TV ain't reality TV. So I definitely and I work
it's
in
so
it.
not. Yeah, yeah, it's not though.
It's
We know
all
it's
written
not.
up, guys. Sorry, it's all written up. You guys should know by now.
Yep.
But I definitely, when it comes to, of course, like I said, when it comes to Flyer for Nation, I definitely want to create a place for people that feel that way. Like, where's the real TV? Like, where can we get real conversations we could learn from, where we could, be something more like not brainwashed or dealt with this whole what we see on regular TV. So that's that. Also in the near future, I do have a podcast coming soon. It's going to be called Be Selfish Podcast. Um, and that's with a good friend of mine, Sherelle. So that's in the near future. And makeup wise, I want to create kind of like a makeup union for TV production. So basically, um, I'll be having a company where I have makeup artists to hairstylists to barbers and Oh, you guys are shooting a video down here in Miami. Boom, what do you need? You need about 3 makeup artists. Boom, boom, boom. Send them out over here. So those are like goals of mine. Um, that's what I'm working towards.
They'll happen just because you said it now, and as long as you believe it, it's going to happen.
That's
Just like you
what
believe
I'm
into the.
working towards. So hey, yeah, that's
Um,
definitely
one thing
a
that
big.
you mentioned, I think, is really important, and I love to always talk about networking, right? Because the opportunity that you said happened with the reggaeton artist was that networking, right? If you
Yes.
never would have, if that girl, you never would have networked, whoever it may have been, you never would have conversated or anything like that.
Never.
The opportunity wasn't there. But because you networked and you were able to meet people in the same industry, the girl wasn't hating. She knew what your talents were. So talk
Mhm.
about networking, how important the networking actually is, especially in the makeup
Yo,
industry.
networking. It was one of those. That was, I think that probably was what really helped. I'm not gonna lie, because what ends up happening, like I was put in that room. Okay, so person who called me, hey Lily, can you do this? I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Mind you, they're referring me, so I already know I gotta do a good job, right?
Yeah.
Go in there. There are about 20 plus people in this room, all making one thing happen. What I'm seeing is 20 different opportunities for me to say, hi, I'm Lily, I'm a makeup artist. Boom, 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 boom. I can do this. This is my work. You've seen it already. Here's my Instagram. Here's this and that, whatever. And I would do that every single time that I had cards, but I'm just like, no, let me tell you. I'm gonna give you my card, but let me tell you, it was more of the energy. People saw how you're conversating against someone who just will come in, do the makeup. If I would have came in, done the makeup, and not talked to anyone, I no, no,
Yeah.
no. So
You,
networking is definitely something that helps, because I could be connected to a lot of people. The other person could be connected to a lot of people, and you don't know. So it's all off of that. What do they call it? The elevator. When you have to give like the
elevator
little
pitch. Elevator pitch.
exactly, the elevator. That little moment is what makes it be like, hey, the other day I was working on this set and I met this really dope makeup artist. She did it really quick. This is not what. Here's her number, and it just kept going, just like that. So networking, definitely, and being able to be open enough to say that, because a lot of people get really shy. They don't want to start a
Mhm.
conversation. But I knew that I had to seize the moment of being in the room. So seize the moment of being in a room full of people, because a room full of people is a room full of opportunities.
I
And
love
what
it.
are you
Yeah.
losing? What are you losing? You're not losing anything but a couple
An
of words.
opportunity. You're not losing anything but an opportunity at this point.
Exactly. You're not losing. You're not gonna lose anything. They'll call you. They won't call you. But hey,
Yeah.
you said something.
Yep.
So networking is something that I saw every single set, and I do it to this day. Every single set that I work on. Hi, I'm Lily. I would talk to the gaffer. I would talk to the PAs. I would talk to every single person
You don't know
that
who knows
could.
who. Yeah, you
It
don't know
didn't
who
matter.
knows who.
It didn't
Or you
matter.
don't know what that person's dreams or their goals are, right? Maybe
Mhm.
they're the next person. Today they're mopping floors, tomorrow they're directing a video. So you don't know where they're going to go in life. And as long as
Mhm.
you left that lasting impression, they're always going to remember, oh man, Lily was so dope when I worked with her. Not only was she talented, she was somebody that I can believe in,
Mhm.
that I can put in front of somebody, and she's gonna show out and make me look
Yeah.
good, right? That's
And,
important.
and
And
another thing that I'm really, like I said, I really am close to the underdog story. Like, I didn't have to talk. Right now is when I'm doing most of the talking, because I did not talk. I did not talk. I just focused. I wasn't the show off person. Now everyone tells me, Lily, you need to tell. I'm like, oh, I just do. I just
yeah,
see what I do. That's it. I was more of an action person. So that's really what what I that now when I do name drop, they'll be like, wait, what? Because I don't
yeah.
I don't show
Happy
it.
class.
Can you give me just a second, mom?
Happy class.
A happy prize?
Happy class.
Okay, Nathan. Okay, mommy's working. Give me a second.
How old is he? How old is he?
My little one, he's 3, and my oldest, he's 6.
Nice, nice. Hey, listen, man. They're a joy to have. It's a blessings as well. They're blessings. It's good.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
good.
they are. That it was when I had my firstborn, it was a push. When I had my second born, I had him when I was actually, it was during, while I was in beauty school, and coming back from it, I had to take off a little bit because of, at the beginning, the first trimester, and you kind of get like sick and stuff. Um, it was hard because I should have said this when you were asking about the struggles. Um, it was hard when I had to choose between, like, Lily, this isn't for me. Like, look, now I'm pregnant. Now I have a whole other, and I really had to, my foot would get swollen because I was in cosmetology school. There's a point in the time of the class where you actually do services for people, like actual
Mhm.
real people that come and get their hair done and do stuff. And when I would sit there, I have a whole 2.5 year old pregnant with Noah. Um, I kept saying I'm doing something for me. Like I really felt like everything was like trying to stop me. And when you feel that way, that means that your breakthrough is gonna be so much bigger. When you feel like everything is like, why is this not
Come
happening?
on, you talking
Why?
right now. Come on.
Yo, I'm serious, but it's like it's when you feel that everything is just not going the way that you want it to go. I feel that's the strength of all the negativity, just trying to break you right before you're about to do
Yeah.
something amazing. So it's like, and you don't even know that yet. So you're
Yep.
just like, it's just like, So that's how I felt at that moment. That I was like, you know what? Nah, this is not. I have gone this far. I finally did something for myself. No. If my first one was a reason for me to go this hard, my second one, that's double the reason now for me to go even harder. So that's another thing that I would give in general, men and women, like your power, people don't know how much power they have. They just do not know. So when you feel that way, when you feel that thing is just getting hard and it just gets further away, no, it's that close.
I'm
It's
happy
that.
actually. I'm happy you talking about this because that's the important part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to do it until they get to that moment, and one or two things happen: either you overcome that or you quit,
Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
and 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 I think that's where you have to have a strong mind. You have to have good people
Mm-hmm.
around you.
Yes.
You
So
have
that.
to have
Oh my
positive
God. Yes.
vibes.
Yes.
Like that is the important time when your mind starts talking to you negative, you
Mm-hmm.
have to beat it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it happens. We see it all the time where people can
See
be
it all
very,
the time.
very successful, but when they start going to those negative thoughts,
And
they will
people don't
quit.
talk about it.
They
People
don't.
that are up there, they don't want to
They
talk.
don't.
I'm the
No.
type of person that I still don't feel like I'm at where I want to be. I am grateful that I am here, but I would remember coming home tired, looking myself in the mirror, and I would like cry. And I would just look at myself in the mirror and be like, "No, Lily, you're stronger than this. Like Lily, like this is right now." That's what I
Yeah.
would tell myself. This is just right now.
Yeah.
This is
It's
just right.
temporary. I would tell myself it's temporary.
Mhm.
It's temporary. It's
Yes, I
temporary.
say it all the
All right, it's
time. Every
temporary.
time someone tells me it's temporary, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same way. I would be like, this is just right now, and I remember I would be in my mom's bathroom, and everything, and just be like, because I really felt like, what am I doing this for? Like, why am I chasing a dream? Like, it goes into you when you hear it enough, it gets into your mind. When
You-
you're around certain people that they just don't see it for you, it gets in there.
Have you ever
You
been in
got-
the mindset that maybe I should just quit all this and just go back to surfing?
You know what? It did. I had moments where it was just getting hard. 2020 was definitely I call it I was destroyed, and I was and a rebirth in the same year. Because I felt like I was so close to it, and then everything just stopped, and I was like, ah, I can't touch people's faces. Like, what do
No.
you mean? I can't. You can't. I couldn't. It was one of the services that was like, no contact. It's all about contact when you do someone's makeup. So it definitely felt like one of those moments where I was like, once I saw that restaurants were opening, I'm like, I need to feed my kids. Like, I need to do something, you know? And I did it. I said, I kept being very hopeful. I kept being very hopeful, and I was like, no. Once I started seeing that, things were opening up and this and that, whatever. But 2020 was a really, really, really crazy year as far
What
as like I really was about to start a whole other job.
what did you learn from that moment? What did you learn from that time?
I learned how real things could get, you know. Remember we were like in quarantine, right? They would say that you couldn't leave, or we were like in the shutdown stuff. And there was still productions going on. I was just in the house with my mom that I just couldn't leave the house. She was very like she has like anxiety when it came to the whole COVID stuff. Um, so that it really made me feel like, okay, if I can't do this, I gotta pick up something else. So I started doing like wigs. I would make like these crochet wigs and sell them. Didn't bring me the amount of money that basically makeup did, but I couldn't give up. I couldn't just fall into the trap of like, Lily, you did all this and now you got to start something over. She would tell me, hey, look, Amazon is you could fill up boxes for Amazon. I'm like, it was like one of
Yeah.
those moments that you're telling me I have to fill up. No, I did all this work. Mind you, I had nothing against, but I'm just and you work so hard to do something, and you're like, no, this is gonna pass. This is temporary. That's something I kept saying to myself. This is temporary, you know. And that year felt like the longest year ever, and I was like, this is a pretty long temporary situation, but I found ways to I had clients that basically I would do like Zoom calls with them and like try to teach them how to do their own makeup. So that was something that I kind of it helped me. Mind you, it was not enough, not enough. But for what we didn't have anywhere to go, we weren't spending money. We were in the house, so
Yeah, 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 for
we didn't have to
sure.
pay
I,
gas. We weren't going anywhere.
I gotta keep my lights on and the roof over my head and some food on the table.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was basically it. So it was one of those situations that like, nah, but 2020, I love it and I hate it. I hate it, then I love it. That's better. I hated it,
So,
then I loved it.
so no, definitely that was some tough times, right? And it was lessons. It wasn't losses. It was lessons. Anytime my people say,
Yes.
taking an L, I always say it's a lesson, right? I mean, there's ups and downs, and during those down times, it's not that I lost anything. Is that I'm coming back stronger because I learned my lesson, or I
Yeah.
learned a lesson.
Yes.
But earlier you mentioned how the makeup industry is, there's there's a lot of competition out there, over
Cut.
exaggerated, right? But what sets you apart from the rest?
Yeah, what sets me apart from the rest? I think I can only go by like what I've heard other people say because that's more of I think it's my energy. I'm not gonna lie, I would be on set from the 17-hour set. I still had a smile on my face from the beginning. I'm tired though. I'm still
Yeah.
tired. I was still happy to be where I was at and call it work. So I stayed in this energy of like I'm having fun, guys. I'm tired. My back hurts. I'm probably gonna feel this tomorrow, but my energy just like I always try to and it wouldn't even be for the other person. It would be that I'll come to work and there'll be other people, of the crew, and I'll be like, damn, Lily, your smile, like, hey, that makes me feel good. And I was just like, good. That's because we're supposed to. Like, we're
Yeah,
doing this. We love what
ab-
we do. So why not be
absolutely.
happy about it? So I think it's my energy. That definitely sets me apart, that it doesn't change even if it's at 7 a.m., same day, same people to 11 p.m. in that same exact day. You're gonna see me tired. But I kept the energy, and every person that I just come across and see, like I'll always be like, you know what, you doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're here for a purpose. You're here for a reason. We do what we're supposed to do. And I understand everyone's backstory as far as like I know that because I know I have my backstory. They don't know that once I leave set, y'all gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna have to go get my kids ready for school. So it's like y'all don't know how much I appreciate being here. So the best I could do is just have good energy while I'm there.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It truly does.
It
It truly
makes a
does. It's going to get you that next gig, because if you don't have the energy, you don't have that positivity, people just don't want to work with that. And I'm pretty sure you've seen people and come across as like, yo, why you acting some type of way? Like, we're in the same industry, we're showing love to one another. So definitely, it goes a long way when you have the good energy, because one bad apple can spoil a bunch, and people don't
yes.
want to work around that
Yeah.
person. Um, Man, we've been talking now about almost 50 minutes, right? We only got an hour, so we got 10 minutes. I do want to ask one more question, and before we start to wrap it up. But what was that moment that in your life happened and you realize it was that know your worth moment? This is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life. There is no ifs, ands, or but about it. I don't care what my mom, my significant other, or anybody has to say. This is what I'm doing for me.
Damn. I know your worth moment.
I have to ask this question every single time because
I could because
it's the platform. It makes sense. What is that? Because I think that
difficult question.
people don't realize that people have that moment and don't capture it, or don't take
It's
it and run with it.
true. I would like naturally I would want to say that it's I'm having a know your worth moment almost every day because there's always a different obstacle. There's always a different situation that you have to remind yourself you are this person, and you are capable of doing this. So I have a know your worth moment every single day. But if I would have to say my first one that it kind of moved from now it's like, no, I'm Lily, I could do this, would definitely have to be that moment that I spoke of where, I had to understand that my power was within me and not within my materials. That was definitely a know your worth moment for me. If I could ever, you're imagine yourself. This is I'm trying to generalize and not just makeup wise. You're in a room full of people with your same dream, and you don't feel equipped, right? I'm trying to generalize it. You don't feel equipped. There's
Yeah.
other people in the same room doing the same thing, have the same exact task as you, but you don't feel equipped. So feeling it and being equipped, two different things, right? At that moment I didn't know until I understood that it's not within the tools, it's within your own power. And I had to know my worth at that moment, that it wasn't the tools, it was me.
Yeah.
And
It was a
that's
value you
what
were
moved
bringing.
me.
Yeah, it was your value. It was a value that you were bringing to that
It was
moment,
the value that
right?
I brought. You would give me a yellow pencil to a black pencil. If you would give me a mascara and that's all I had to do with someone's face, hey, I'll make something happen. It was the
Yeah.
power within myself that I was like, I know your worth moment. I had to, I knew my worth at that moment that, even in a room full of people, same thing, same destination, same dream, everything. I just stayed focused and did what I had to do. I gave it my all, and it's what made me. It's what's lifted me into everything else that has happened. So I would have to say that because I felt weak at that moment, and I still felt strong at the same.
If this conversation has come in a full circle, because you mentioned this earlier, how you had a small palette compared to someone else that had a big palette, but you said it was my talent that brought me to where you are today, right? It was a talent,
Mhm.
it was a mindset as well, because at that moment you
Yeah,
could have been crushed and
I
not
I felt
seen it
I
in
felt
yourself.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I definitely did.
And you executed, and your talent spoke for itself, right? Even at the weakest point, your talent spoke for yourself. And,
Yeah.
and I want people to realize that a lot of times you're going to feel weak, but allow yourself and your talent to speak for itself. You're there for a
Yeah.
reason. Somebody put you in that room for a reason. This is your
Hmm.
opportunity. Everything that you ever worked for, all those moments where you almost gave up on yourself, this is that moment to execute, right?
Yep.
You've put in the practice for that moment. So I love it. I love that know your worth moment. Thank you so much, Lily. Is
Thank
where can
you.
people follow you? What words do you want to of advice do you want to leave? Remember that there's other women that may be watching this as well, that just want to hear from someone beautiful like yourself, somebody that's talented, somebody in the industry. So what words of advice do you leave someone like yourself that wants to do this?
Words of advice that I would leave would basically bring you to the table. That's there's no one else in this world like you. Don't be distracted by how we could see into people's lives and think that everything is like, oh, look what they're doing. Nah, you need to focus what you're doing. So that's definitely one of my biggest. Every time I meet someone, anyone who's watching, like, you have your power, find it and take full control.
Dope, dope, Lily. Well, I appreciate you so much. As we
Thank you.
wrap this up, I do want to give a big shout out to Content Creators Experience. Again, they're doing some phenomenal work when it comes
They
to
are.
just recognizing women in the industry, women in business. You'll see a lot of different interviews on Content Creators EXP. I'm just thankful to be a part of this, right? Even though I host my own platform, I was asked if I can actually host these beautiful women this for the next couple of weeks, and I'm just so excited to do so because I think sometimes they are overlooked, right? And in a room full of men, I think sometimes men can be a little savage and don't realize that the talent is really the woman, right? You guys are way more talented than we all are. Without you
I
guys, how could it be
always say
possible?
all that. Yeah.
Listen,
I think
after
it's
I
sad, but
realized,
okay.
after I
Okay.
became a father and I seen the work that my wife does, she's a stay at home mom, and I see how my little one is just kind of growing. Hats off to the woman for what you guys do for sure. And I'm happy that we can actually go ahead and create this platform to do this. I do want to go ahead and also talk about how there is so much different events going on with content creators experience. You can actually follow them at content creators exp. You can see all the different events that they'll be hosting for our ladies, so you guys can go ahead and meet them in person. You guys can ask those questions. You guys can network with them. We spoke about Lily earlier, how it is so important that you network. If you want to be in those rooms, you have to network with the ones that are in that room. All
I'll
right.
be there.
So exactly, she'll be there. So make sure that you're there. The mission of Content Creators Experience is to bring all type of talents into a room where they're able to help one another. Lily, you mentioned how you didn't have someone to help you, but now Lily is pouring into others what not really what was poured into her, but all the lessons that she had to learn through her experiences. So you want to be in
Mm-hmm.
those types of rooms. You want to be able to follow Content Creators EXP. I mean, the mission itself is just, it's important because we don't have enough of Content Creators EXP. So shout outs to those individuals over there as well. Make sure you mark your calendars and save the date. It looks like December 19th, Content Creators Experience and the Permanent Status Miami will be hosting the end of the year celebration, Content Creator Connect Gala. And if I'm not mistaken, it will be in Miami. And
It's
Lily
gonna be
says she's
fun.
there. She's gonna be all glammed up. So it has been a pleasure, Lily. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time. You can go back to being a mom, and other kids are at the door waiting on you. For you guys that are watching, you guys want to see more dope videos like this, make sure that you guys go ahead and follow the YouTube Know Your Worth TV, where you see more dope interviews with people just like Lily, where we're always talking about how we overcome the odds and how we can push through those negative mindsets because it happens. We're normal people.
Mhm.
Mental health awareness is this month, and I think it's, we spoke a little bit about it, but I think it's important that you actually start to listen to others that has gone through those moments and how they actually were able to overcome that. But thank you so much. This has been Know Your Worth TV. Until next time, make sure you go watch some other interviews and subscribe while you're at it, because we can't build the platform if you're not showing the love. So until next time, we'll see you. This has been Know Your Worth TV.